Hi everyone, I have my August favorites for you today. So if you follow me on Instagram and see my face of the day type posts, I doubt many of these will be a surprise for you because I have just been wearing a lot of the same things recently and really been liking them. So I'll get into just one skincare item. This is the Paula's Choice Resist Super Light Daily Wrinkle Defense SPF 30. So I did talk about this in length in my current skincare routine video, which I will link below. Basically, what I find so amazing about this is that it actually goes on matte. It does have a little bit of a kind of a smoothing effect on pores, and on my oily T-zone, it really does help the longevity of foundation and concealer and whatnot. It's really made a big difference, and I've been using it for, I don't know, several months now, and I've never had an SPF that I really felt like actually made a difference as far as how my makeup wore. So this has just worked out so well for me. It is very dry. If you have even, I would say, normal to dry skin, I think this is too drying. It says normal oily combination. But for me, I do want to, unless I'm mixing it with something more moisturizing, like an SPF that's more moisturizing, or if I'm putting on a moisturizing foundation on top of it, I do want to put some sort of moisturizer on my dry areas, which is my cheeks and kind of the edges of my forehead and a little bit around my mouth. But anyway, really, really good stuff, and I would highly recommend it if you're oily and looking for something an SPF that's not going to make the oil situation worse. I feel like this really does a good job. As far as foundations, I've been really loving this. This is the Buxom Show Some Skin Weightless Foundation, and it's SPF 30. It says it's light to medium coverage. The color I have is Tickle the Ivory, and it's what I have on today. It has a very, it's not as a cool yellow as NARS Siberia, but it's not as kind of warm and peachy as something like my Lancome Teint Idole Ultra in 90N. It's just, I would say it's more of a neutral tone once it does dry down. What I really like about this is it has a really nice kind of natural to satin finish. It's a little bit moisturizing for my skin during the summer when it's oily, but it's not bad. It doesn't get looking like super greasy. It will definitely be glowy, but it doesn't look bad. I feel like it will look even better in the winter. I can apply this without using any sort of tools, which I love. So today I applied it with my fingers, just kind of slapped it on like a moisturizer. It is more on the tinted moisturizer side than on a full actual foundation, and it does say light to medium coverage, so I definitely would agree with that coverage level. But that is right up my alley. That's what I'm looking for. I don't want a lot of coverage. So I have redness in my skin that I'm just trying to tone down, in my nose, chin area. I feel like this is a good mix of coverage. It's comfortable to wear. Today I didn't wear anything underneath it. I didn't wear this underneath it because it does have SPF 30 and it's not too heavy of a coverage. I can actually apply the same amount that I would of this. This also does have a little tiny hint of a tint. If you are extremely porcelain, like as fair as my neck, this might show. I'm not really sure, but just kind of FYI, it does have a teeny tiny super sheer tint to it. But it's nowhere near, and I'm NC5 to NC10, and my neck is probably NC5 to lighter, so yeah. Just putting that out there. But yeah, so super highly recommend this. If you have very oily skin, it probably wouldn't work, but even with my oily T-zone, I feel like it's not bad. And the other thing I love about it is that it does kind of just wears throughout the day looking good. Even if it might be oily, dewy, whatever, it doesn't break down, it doesn't start looking patchy, it doesn't start looking cakey. And a lot of things do that for me. So this just wears beautifully. It just kind of fades throughout the day. It doesn't have amazing lasting power, but I'm not expecting it to when it's more like a tinted moisturizer. It's just really nice. It's easy. It looks nice throughout the day. It has a very kind of natural finish. It adds a little bit of life into my skin where I have dryness. I just like it a lot. What I've been using to set that and whatever I'm wearing lately is an actual pressed powder, which is not normal for me. In general, I tend to go for a translucent setting powder, but I've really been liking this lately. It's the L'Oreal True Match Powder in W1. I have had this before. In the past, what I used it for was more like touch-up when I was at the office, so it gave me a little bit more coverage. But I've actually been enjoying using this, and you can start to see the pan in there. Well, the ridges of the pan, rather. Not like hitting pan. So I have been wearing this quite a lot, and I definitely need to be careful not to apply too much because it is fairly matte, and not get it underneath my eyes, but I feel like it does a good job setting my foundation, mattifying without looking too heavy or cakey if I apply it with especially this brush. This is a MAC 133. I had gotten this, they had like a 15 or 20% off. There was a good discount on this. It's an expensive brush. This is the most expensive brush I own by far. It's not super duper soft, but it has, I feel like it has a nice firmness. It doesn't pick up too much powder, and then I can kind of press it in, and it seems to work really well for me for setting powder to give me the right amount, really pressing it in easily. And I don't know, I just have been really liking the results I've been getting using this powder with this brush. The other kind of coverage type product that I've really been liking lately is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Eraser Dark Circles Treatment Concealer. And this one's in Neutralizer. So this is the more yellow of the shades. Let's see, right there. And I have 3 of these, including this one. So I have Fair, Neutralizer, and I think the Brightener one, which is more pink. So what I've found is that yellow under my eyes is actually a pretty good color for me. So I have some discoloration, not a ton, but I was finding a lot of concealers and even like kind of peachy concealers. Nothing was the right match. So the peach ones tended to be too dark and looking orange, and then I absolutely had to go over it with another concealer. A standard concealer color was, a lot of them ended up looking a little bit gray because they had some pink in them, and it just wasn't meshing well with the discoloration I have under my eyes. This formula I really like just because if I don't use too much, it doesn't crease throughout the day. Like when I first put it on, it might be a little bit creasy, but once I tap that out, it will be good for the rest of the day. So I really appreciate that. It doesn't look dry and cakey for me throughout the day, and I have very dry under eye area, so that's a pretty common problem for me, and I haven't had it, so it's a really good mix. Most things crease on me because I do have a lot of pretty heavy creases underneath my eyes, along with some lines and whatnot. So it sits well. The yellow I feel like works well underneath my eyes, and that's what I have under my eyes today, and nothing else. Except for a little bit of this. But yeah, I've been really enjoying that. And you see it when it dries down. It almost looks a little bit more peach on my skin tone. And there is that Tickle, that Ivory, now that that has dried down as well. So on to some color products. Well, I'll mention one more thing that's not very exciting. This is the Lanolips in Strawberry, the 101 Ointment Multi-Balm in Strawberry. So my lips just like lanolin better than petroleum products, I have found. And there aren't a lot of options for lanolin-based lip products out there, but Lanolips now is being sold in the US at Ulta, so that was pretty exciting. So I jumped on that. What I like about this is that it is fairly easy to apply. It has a slant tip applicator, which is what I was looking for. I have gone through an entire huge tube of the Lansana just pure lanolin, and it doesn't smell funky, but it does have a smell that I don't really like, and so I just like the fake strawberry scent better. So I've really been enjoying this. It's easy to use, and it smells better than regular lanolin. Alright, so highlight. I have been loving this Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector liquid in Moonstone. So this came out of that, I think it was Best of Becca type sets at Ulta, and I've just been loving this so much. It's so easy to apply, and I really like the finish that the Shimmering Skin Perfectors in the liquid form give, because it's very like shiny, reflective, and my cheeks are very dry. So sometimes powders can really accentuate some dryness and accentuate the lines and whatnot, but I feel like the liquid just makes it shiny. And since it's Moonstone, it doesn't have like a particular tint to it per se. Something like Opal is definitely more noticeable. It has a little bit of a warm undertone that might look a little bit funny on my skin tone, but here is that swatched. So you can see it just doesn't have a ton of color. So it's like Pearl, but a slightly warmer version of Pearl. And the doe foot applicator is the best. I feel like this is so much better of a solution than the pump, because you can get exactly how much you want. You get a reasonable amount of it in this little kind of travel size. Love it. Let's see what next. So also we'll stick with cheeks. This Colourpop blush, I have been wearing this like crazy. The shade is Aphrodisiac, and this was, they had a flash sale of 20% off, and I grabbed this, and it's kind of like a neutral blush that actually looks like a neutral blush on me. So many times, kind of neutral blushes, things like Tarte Exposed, that type of color just doesn't look, it ends up looking kind of pink. This one, I feel like it's just a really natural kind of rosy brown, but not too brown, not too rosy. I don't know. I love this color. I feel like I can get a little color on my face without it looking like a particular color. You know, it's just like, oh, my cheeks have some life in them, without it looking pink or peach or brown. It's just, it meshes really well with my freckles, I think is what it comes down to. It's kind of a similar tone without it really being brown or orange. I don't know. I really like it. It's really been working for me. A few lip products. What I have on today, my lipstick is this. It's the Rimmel Kate Nude. I think that's Lasting Finish. Yep. And this is shade number 45. And it is a nice nude. I feel like it goes with a lot of colors. It's not too peach, it's not too pink, it's not too brown, it's not too beige. It is a little bit on the pink side though. And it's fairly light, and it definitely will accentuate some lip flakes and whatnot, but it does have that kind of shinier finish, and it has that fake, it reminds me of what my strawberry shortcake doll back in the 80s smelled like, kind of that plasticky sweet scent to it, which is not my favorite, but it's okay. I don't mind it. But yeah, it's just kind of a nice, it's nice to have a nude that's easy to put on with other things that I feel like it's not going to clash too much with whatever I'm wearing. It's kind of like that blush. It's just been easy to wear, but it's light. It's probably a little pale on other skin tones, but for me it's, I would say, pretty easy to wear. So I've been enjoying that quite a lot lately. Also, I've been really liking my new NYX Butter Glosses. These I picked up from Ulta not too long ago. And the colors I have are Cotton Candy and Peach Crisp. They do look a little bit more bold in the tube, but since it's more of a sheer formula, I feel like they just add a nice warmth and a nice kind of cool pink look. And I have worn these quite a lot, so I do have quite a few Face of the Day posts on Instagram if you want to see what these look like on my face. But I feel like they're a nice formula for my lips. They don't cause a lot of flaking. Sometimes when I wear lip products, as it wears down, it might be comfortable while I'm wearing it, but once it wears off, like I notice my lips getting kind of sore, and I just have a major problem with chronic dryness on my lips, and so they're always flaky and whatnot, unless I'm like super on top of it. but these don't really make that worse. They don't leave them with that sore, dry feeling. So they're easy to wear. They're not super sticky. It's just nice. I really like them. So I've been enjoying that. I've liked that formula, but these are the new colors that I have, and they have a little bit more color. I also have Creme Brulee, which is a little bit pale, and if I don't have anything underneath it, it can, because I don't have much lip pigmentation, look kind of sad. Last two makeup related items. The uemura, what do they call this? It's like hard, it says hard 9 seal brown, hard formula, hard 9 seal brown 02. It's an eyebrow pencil. So the formula is a little bit of a hassle, because I mean, I tried to get some on my hand there, and it is hard. There's no no arguing that there. I like the color tone. It's fairly gray. It's also, it's hard to go overboard with it because it is that kind of hard, dry formula. And it's just been, I feel like, I don't know, I've been getting a good result out of it lately. It has been a while since I've dyed my eyebrows, so they're starting to be, it's like, I always forget how much of a difference it makes, so I'm sure that they're like at 30% dyed now or so. So they're looking kind of blonde, like white blonde, unless I do something to them, and that's just giving a nice kind of background shadow. And then on top of that, I have loved this. I'm so glad I got this. TT Sandra had mentioned this on favorites a little while ago, I believe, and it's the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Plumper Brow Gel Mascara, and this is in light medium, light to medium. It has a very small brush, which is nice, and this is the best tinted brow gel mascara, whatever, that I've used formula wise, and the color isn't orangey, which is amazing for a lighter color. So it's kind of like a yellowy golden almost, and it doesn't look orange or red on my brows, which I love. So it adds some color and dimension, because I have a little bit more of that kind of gray brown going underneath it, and then this adds a little bit of warmth without it going orangey red. And it's a really good fit, especially since I dye my eyebrows and they come out very like cool toned, super dark brown. This can lighten them a little, add a little bit of warmth, because the hair color that I use is always going to be a little bit warm, even though I've been trying to find something cool toned, like mousy brown. Give me a mousy brown. But finding that so far, I have not had a lot of luck. So this gets the brows looking a little bit closer to a warm tone than my hair is. And it's not like super thick. I have so many tinted brow products, and they always go on so heavy and thick like a mascara, but this is a lot thinner, so it adds a little bit of a color and a tint, but it doesn't get gloppy and like you have to be so careful with it. It's more like a clear brow gel, but with some color in it as far as consistency goes, and it is so much easier to use. I've just been so pleased with it, and I feel like I need to buy more just in case they ever discontinue it, because it's working so well for me. Loving this. And I'm not one that buys backups. I just don't do it because I always want to try something new. But I've been loving that so much, I have really been tempted to just buy a couple more just in case. That's it for my favorites for August 2016. Let me know if you have anything that really stood out for you in the past month or so. I would love to hear from you. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Let me know if you have any questions about anything. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.